What's up, everybody? It's your favorite combiner that shouldn't be's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Toyworld Dinobots. In this mode, I gotta say, I still hold firm to my guns, and look, I got Swoop pretty much hidden, that this is not a bad set to have for like a chuggish G1 animated set. Not bad. I think that Grimlock and Swoop are the biggest issues here, but the rest of them are looking pretty good, and I think cohesively it all kind of works. And there they are in robot mode. This looks pretty good. I don't really have any issues with them when they're staying together as a team. When you look at them individually, some things start to show more than others, but looking at them together, I think they look pretty good. I think that Sludge and Slag kind of do the best job, with Grimlock coming in second place, and then Snarl in third, and then Swoop in fourth. I'll tie Slag and Sludge because I think they did a really good job with those two. Shout out once again to Joe KW. I'm glad that this is the best I like because it saves me a bunch of money because I don't really care for combine mode. Phew! Thank God. I thought I was going to have to buy that for a minute. And I'll just put you back in here. Alright, so let's get started. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not the most comfortable with this. It's not my set, so I don't want to fiddle with it a whole bunch. So this is a first for me. I've looked at the instructions to try to get a gist of it. I think I've got it. Bear with me. Okay, so we got to get rid of that head. So let's tuck her back inside. Bring that back up. Alright, so far so good, right? The shoulders you definitely want up. And then you want to open these up and tuck the hand in, and then you got to position these in a way where this back piece can come up and tab in to the back of the arm, of the bicep. And then this piece kind of comes up like that. And then the whole thing tabs in there. Alright, so let's try it again. Hand up. Open this bit of business. Adjust the elbows accordingly so that you can get that tabbed in. And then bring that around front. And tab her in. And that is that. We'll undo the backpack. Easy for me to say. Alright. We're going to swivel the waist around. And then we got to work these legs, so to speak. Like Jane Fonda. 80s reference. Not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Bring these up, rotate them around. I'll tell you, I gotta go a specific way. Take the foot out and around, and close it on the side of the thigh. And that's that. There is a piece in there that tabs in, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I've got it. But time will tell in less than 3. A little reference for you. Alright, same on the other side. Get rid of that little niblet so we don't break her. Alright, and that's that. Now, this backpack comes up and you use the top setting so that it sticks out a bit. And then this piece comes down and around It just kind of rests up top. It doesn't feel like it plugs in anywhere. And then you get this head, and then we have some accessories. Okay, so you take this accessory. I'm not sure if this can be utilized in the dinosaur mode or whatever. It probably can somehow. These look like just standard 5mm pegs, so you can probably find a way to put them in there. But you rotate them out, and then let's see here. And then I think you want to rotate these down and open up these flaps. Actually, I might have it backwards. We'll see. It's kind of hard to stay oriented here. Yeah, like this. So I had them backward, but that ain't. Oh, maybe it is. Okay, so then it's gonna sit up in here, and it tabs in, and you just kind of gotta finagle it, and then tab these bits in here to the top. Now, what I will say is that while it is a parts forming thing, I know that it irritates some people. It doesn't bother me. It isn't. It is very secure, extremely secure, and he's done. Let's get this guy out of the way, shall we? Then we can be done messing with him. Close the feet up, just like we did before. You're doing a lot of what you do to get in robot mode. Open these up. There it is. And we're going to lock them again. I do like that. I do like their little locking tabs and stuff. And swivel it there. Swivel it there. Fold this up. Close these up. And then close them together. That's the lower part done. The upper part, you have to undo this and get it back to robot mode. The shoulders. But you could just leave them on the back if you wanted. I don't know. It's up to you, but we'll do it how I think they suggest to do it, which is like that. It doesn't seem right. I guess it is. Be nice if that folded up a little bit better. Maybe I got it wrong. I'll have to take another look, but I don't remember having it wrong. And then this comes up again. Dino mode stays together, and the combiner port comes down. And then you extend it. It'd also be nice if that locked in somewhere. It doesn't appear to. And then you take your hand and close it up there. This one has one tricky element to it, but it's fairly straightforward. Extend, bring these arms back and around. That's the upper part of the arm, and it's done. Actually, you can probably even get it tighter if you just I don't know. Let's get this come on, girl, can you? I really don't want to have to open this all the way up, but it looks like I'm gonna have to. Never mind, maybe it's not as easy as I was hoping. Strong ratchet, which hopefully will pay off in the long run. And then you can close this back up. All right, there. And then the arms sit nice and flush. Well, relatively speaking, along the back. And then the legs, really you just do like this, I think, and then you just pull this down. It's the same thing as you did before and to get it into robot mode, but rock these on down, and then rotate them up like that. Same on the other side. And then these pieces, these tail pieces, hinge up on the back, and then these snap together. And that's your other arm. And then you can take the hand. Nope, I messed up. Okay, so what that means is it's got to come further up on this knee joint. So that the bottom piece there is sticking out further. And it's basically the double jointed knee allows you to get it to like 90 degrees there, like a flat across, and then that gives you the clearance of the hand ports. And there. Now you got her. And then this goes, so he's going to be on this side, right? I think. There you go. For these guys, it's relatively simple as well, at least as far as I can tell. Fold the tail up, that exposes the connector ports where it goes into Grimlock. Fold the head down. And then, I mean, I don't know. It seems like to me that you just kind of do what you want here. Like, just like something like that. Like, I don't know. It's. I'm sure I could get a better look at the instructions, but it's been a long day, and it's when I looked at them earlier. To me, it just seemed like you just crumble them up, so to speak. So we'll go with it. If it makes a big difference, I'll take a better look, but I don't know. And then you take your foot and you take him, and I don't know if it makes a difference, but I've been putting it into the back ones. If it seems unsturdy, I'll try the front ones, but I've been using the back 4, and it seems to work all right. Foot. Same for Snarl. You got to undo this tail. I think I couldn't find a way not to. Fold these up the best you can, and then open up the head of this unit carefully, and then you just kind of crumble him up as well, I think. Actually, maybe I can, yeah, let's move these to the inside. And we'll flap that down flat. And like I said, this may not be 100% right, but I don't think it's gonna change. That ain't right. I don't know. I don't know if I got that right or not, but that's basically the foot. We'll see what kind of problems it gives me. And there are all your bits. Now let's see if we can't make something out of it. And also, use your tabbing piece here to lock that in. I missed that when I went over Grimlock. Hope nobody has to delete a message correcting me. A little comment. I'm finding this to be somewhat challenging. All right. All right. So, also you got to expose these connector ports here. One arm in. Please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall. Two arms in. Now, my first impression just doing this for the first time is he's kind of busy. He's a busy little bee. Let's see here. And then I think that these wings can go in on the back. You might want to... I'll tell you what, that's the second time he's fallen and the horn still isn't broke. So kudos. I'm not going to go pressing my luck or anything, but wow, that is impressive. Because that was a fall. Sorry, Joe. Joe's not going to let me hold anything. And second wing. I do like that winged look, and I'm having a bit of a hard time getting this slag in, and it's because of the Triceratops head. There it is. Alright. She's in there now. Let's look at him. So he has a few accessories, and thankfully one of them is to fix this stupid looking face. And that's this piece there to kind of give him a more traditional Grimlock looking face. And then these little antenna here, which for being chrome are toleranced really well. I mean, it just slid right in there, girl. And that's a much better look, if I do say so myself. He also comes with these bits. I'm not sure if they're screw covers or what, but they're in there. There's this like flat disc. There's a more dimensional one. There's two gold ones. I don't know if they fill in on the head, and then these two things. And I don't know, and I wasn't gonna mess with it too tough. But they are all available. I can tell you before we get too heavy into this that the last thing I needed was more pieces falling off of this thing. The head is on a ball joint, but it's very limited up, but better down, which is good. If you're going to have a combiner, you should have more down than up. You know, he's going to be looking down at you more than looking up at something bigger. And but limited up. He does have some light piping up in there, so that's not bad. The wings are the same articulation as we've seen in the past with swoops, so they swivel and then you get all the hinges. I definitely prefer it with the wings than without. I think it just makes it a more cohesive looking unit. You have a ratcheted universal joint at this connector port here, but it has a hard time holding it. You get it to a certain point and it's fine. Mine keeps popping out. I know it's in there. And then you get the biceps. Ugh. His hips too. There's problems. There's problems here. Bicep swivel is right there at the top of the elbow joint. Then you get the elbow that's built in, and then you get a wrist. Oh my goodness! You get a wrist swivel. This thumb here is on a very, very loose ball joint. I hope you can see that. Poorly toleranced. and then you get a hinge at this thumb that's very tight, probably because of the chrome. And then all the fingers are articulated at each knuckle, 1, 2, and they're all hinges, and the fingertips are all hard to articulate because of the chrome, I would imagine. The other ones work just fine, and the claws are extremely sharp, so use caution. Slag, the articulation is the same, but the double jointed elbow works better because of this. You see? But you know, these connector ports, these like little dual knuckle things, and there might even be a better way to do the knees there, so I'll give them a pass on that. And then the swivel here is the same. The problem with the shoulders here are these connector ports here have these flaps lift up, so it stops you from going up any further, because then you're just pushing against it, if you can see that. And then neither Slag nor Swoop's head really help as much as they hinder. Waist swivel's intact, no issues there. Universal joints for thighs that work good enough. The problem here is that the inner part of Grimlock's leg, let me see if I can't. Oh boy. Oh boy. But where this bends here, even with, if you can see that right there, even with this piece tabbed in, it's just so much weight that it's begging to fail. Losing my cool. Alright. Knee ratcheted, works fine. I'll try to lower this down a little bit so you can see that. It gets you shy of 90 degrees, but it does work fine. Ankle swivel, ratcheted rocker, which is nice, but no tilt, which is unfortunate. Sludge, once again, ratcheted ankle rocker to there. Doesn't appear to have a tilt, and there's a swivel if you need it. The same ratcheted knee joint. I'll try to not be in the way. Which gets you just shy of 90 degrees, but has a hard time staying together. And then the same kind of problem plagues this one too, with this inside of Grimlock's knee. Let me get you. It's right up in there where it wants to bend out. Size comparison wise, there he is next to Maketoys' Computron, TFC's Defensor, Utopia, and I mean they're almost, I mean the top of Grimlock's head comes up to about the bottom of Utopia's head, so Utopia's like a head bigger. And Warbotron, so he's about the same size as Warbotron, so he'll fit in nicely with the bigger combiners, or if you want to use them just tower over the smaller combiners, that should work too. Final thoughts wise, this thing is kind of a mess and it's frustrating as hell. It is very difficult to get it in any sort of stance without all of it kind of starting to fall apart. It seems very amateurish in terms of how it works. I think part of the problem is that these are heavy bots. Part of the problem is that Dinobots aren't supposed to combine. Dinobots are big, brawling robots. So when you put big brawling robots and you start stacking them on top of one another, it's going to be really difficult to support that weight, and Toyworld realizes that in this project fluently. There is a ton of issues here in terms of connection points. 4 little pegs, 2 little pegs here and there. It doesn't work when you have a robot of this size that you're trying to build. The Toyworld Throttlebot one worked way better. That combiner is a much more efficient combiner than this one. It's very busy. I've talked along the way about how great the paint apps are, but there's an awful lot of color going on here. I do think the wings, something about them, it kind of brought it together for me. Maybe it was that big splash of silver, but without the wings, it looks awkward. It looks out of place. I don't get this. I don't like it. I don't think it works very well. It's a pain. It's really trying to work with. It's a pain in the ass. That's what it is. I mean, just plain and simple. The lower legs are constantly falling off. My right hand is constantly falling off. It can't get out of its own way because it's such a combination of brawling bots, and nothing is more prevalent than the slag bit, which, as you can see, is pushed right up against that connector point and against the head of the Dinobot. So certain things aren't meant to be. I know some people have this fascination with Dinobots combining, and I even kind of get it, but what's always been cool to me about the Dinobots is that they don't need to combine. They'll take on your biggest, strongest adversary that's available. They don't need to combine to do it. They do it as a team. I'm a big admirer of teamwork. I think that a lot of great things can be done when people have their kind of division of labor split up and know what they're doing and kind of know their role and know their job. And I think that the Dinobots kind of sum that philosophy up. Each one has its own little speciality, and together they're a strong force. I don't feel the need for them to combine. And if you don't either, you could be really happy with this set. But if you bought this set with the intention of combining them, I got news for you. Prepare yourself for frustration. Get your coffee ready, get your beer ready, get your cigarettes, whatever your vice is to get you through the day, get that ready, because you're going to need it, because some of the elements of this in terms of how it comes together and then how it operates once it's together is extremely frustrating. Alright, so here's the good news. The proportions are really nice. The ratchets are really nice. And the Dinobots as robots and mostly as dinosaurs look fairly good together separate. The problem is that a lot of people bought this set for the combiner aspect of it, and it's okay if you pose it really simply in a standing position and leave him be, he will be fine. Any sort of dynamic pose, that's going to be a pain. Any sort of anything outside of just standing in an A stance is going to be a pain. But getting him in the A stance, standing him on a shelf, you'll be okay. You just have to take some tender loving care in getting there. This does not give me the warm and fuzzies for Devastator. I'm in for Devastator. I'm excited about Devastator. Worst case scenario, I have a set of good looking bots on the shelf and I'm fine with that. But I have a bad feeling. They need to step up their game in terms of connection ports. That's an issue here. There's some other things, but we've already talked about the negative, and I don't want to harp too much because there is some good stuff here. It's not a bad set overall. It just doesn't really perform well as a combiner. But individually, they're a pretty fun set, and they're fun to mess with. Their engineering and everything, it's pretty good. And aesthetically, this isn't a terrible looking Dinobot combiner. Seeing it in person. It's just, getting him into anything that looks remotely interesting is going to be a bit of a challenge. So, I don't know. I can't say I'd recommend him for a combined dinosaur robot monster. But if you want to set, like I've said from the beginning, if you want to set a G1 looking, relatively cartoon accurate, slightly larger than Voyager scale Dinobots for your chug shelf, this is a good set to go with. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.